Welcome to this Fiction Brain Masterclass on scene construction. Here is a question I want you to sit with for a moment. What is a scene? Most writers will say, a scene is where the action happens. Some will say it is a chapter or part of a chapter. A few will say it is where characters interact. All of those answers are in the neighborhood. But none of them are the thing itself. Here is the definition that matters. A scene is real-time dramatized action. The moment your narrative steps back to summarize, compress, explain, or report, the scene has ended. That boundary is the most important structural fact you can know about scenes. Think of scenes as the arteries of your story. They are the structural pathways through which your story's life moves. A story with no scenes has no pulse. A story with poorly constructed scenes has blocked arteries. Readers feel this before they can name it. They slow down, they drift, they put the book down. That is what we are here to fix. The most useful single idea in scene construction is this. Every scene is a mini-story, not a fragment, not a borrowed moment, a complete narrative arc in miniature. And like every story, it has three structural beats. First, the entry condition, the state of things when the scene opens. Who is here, what they want, what the situation is. Second, the pressure event. Something happens. A confrontation, a revelation, a decision, an action. This is what the scene is actually about. Third, the exit condition, the state of things when the scene closes. And here is the ruling. The exit condition must be different from the entry condition. Not necessarily resolved, not necessarily better, just different. Change is the irreducible minimum a scene must deliver. A scene that moves from A to A is not a scene. It is a delay. When a scene fails, readers do not ask what happened. They ask why they needed to read that. A scene's type is its purpose made visible. Action scenes dramatize decisive events in real time. Confrontation scenes place characters in direct conflict. Revelation scenes deliver information that changes understanding. Relationship scenes develop the connections between characters. Transition scenes move characters between situations. Reflection scenes let a character process what has happened. Beyond these types, scenes carry other obligations. Introducing a character or location, generating conflict that pays off later, planting foreshadowing, shifting the power dynamic between characters, releasing emotional pressure, or tightening it. Every scene should answer one question. What is this scene's primary job? Find the one thing it must accomplish. Cut everything that does not serve it. Early in every scene, the reader needs 4 pieces of information: the time, the place, the action, and the focus character. Together, these 4 anchors prevent reader float. A reader who is floating is being pulled out of the story. The craft question is not whether to deliver the anchors. It is how lightly and how quickly you can deliver them without announcing them. There is a difference between a briefing and a scene. A briefing tells the reader where they are before anything happens. A well-built scene delivers the same anchors while it is already moving. The reader is oriented without being briefed. The 4th anchor deserves its own conversation. The focus character carries more weight than the other 3 combined. This is the character whose consciousness the reader has access to, the head we are inside. We know what they think, what they feel, what their body registers before their mind catches up. One focus character is the default, and almost always the right choice. 2 is achievable, with deliberate signaling and clear dramatic justification. More than 2 requires a master's hand. In first-person narration, the constraint is absolute. One focus character, always. Third-person intimate can support controlled dual-focus narration. The failure is not dual focus. The failure is undefined focus. A scene where the reader cannot locate whose consciousness they are in. That leaves the reader watching from outside everyone, inside no one. The white space between scenes is not empty. It is structural. A strong scene entry delivers the 4 anchors and creates forward momentum at the same time. The scene is already moving when the reader arrives. A strong scene exit hands the reader something to carry into the gap. A question, an unease, a tension held in suspension. A scene that exits clean gives the reader nothing to carry forward. The unresolved exit is the mechanism that pulls the reader through the page. Not every story moment earns real-time dramatization. Dramatize when the character's interior experience is the story. When there is direct conflict or a decision that changes direction. When the emotional weight requires the reader to be inside it. Use summary when the moment is transitional. When it is repetitive. When time needs to be compressed without losing the reader's thread. The test is one question. If I summarize this instead of dramatizing it, what does the reader lose? If the answer is nothing significant, write the summary. Now let's name the 7 ways scenes fail. 1. The untethered scene, arriving without connection to what came before. 2. No clear focus character, leaving the reader inside no one. 3. Voice mismatch, where the narrator no longer feels like the same narrator. 4. Tone mismatch, where the prose's emotional register fights the content. 5. Unjustified goal switch, where a character abandons what they wanted without cause. 6. Logistics masquerade, a scene that exists only to deliver information. 7. Anachronistic elements, details that do not belong to the story's world. Each of these breaks the reader's trust in a different way. The scene is fiction's fundamental unit. Everything above it, chapter, act, novel, is built from scenes. Getting scene construction right is not an advanced skill. It is the foundational one. Build scenes that change something. Anchor the reader early, in motion. Know whose head you are in and why. Hand the reader something to carry into the gap. And when a moment does not earn dramatization, trust the summary. Apply these principles consistently, and the arteries of your story will stay open. That is where your reader lives.